you there. I was just smoking this real cigar and reading a thick, juicy novel. It's filled with letters, almost all of which can be found in the Greco-Roman alphabet. Impressive, no? You can't smoke that in here. Oh, sorry. Also, it's filled with regrets, mostly my own. I wrote this book, and I regret it. Listen up, you sensuous, knowledge-hungry viewers of The Punchline. We are talking about the BLT community on this episode of The Munchline. I'm a hungry, hungry host, and I just want to sink my fangs into the sweet carcass of a porky pig, topped with that meaty lettuce and that beefy tomato. What, we're not doing the BLT thing anymore? I don't know. I thought it was going well. No, I think the audience was enjoying it, right? Yeah? Okay, got it. Jeez. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, tonight's episode is actually about the LGBTQ complacency here at Emerson. Every member of the LGBTQ community was born at Emerson College, as literally everybody knows. If you disagree, you're homophobic and no better than my hateful Uncle Dirtpatch. You know, he works at this arcade during his free time, and his favorite midnight snack is anything Hostess. Don't be like Uncle D-Patch. He's not even really my uncle, just a friend of my dad's. Fuck you, DP. The point is, I've gathered you all here and held you hostage so we can talk about some serious issues in the LGBTQ community. So let's forget about Uncle Dirtpatch and strap in for some intensely informative comedy. The show that's too punk rock for the Evie Awards. Not that we wanted one anyway, ya normies. I'm Kira Compton. For this episode, we're going to begin with a guided meditation. Take your mind's eye back to 2014. Obama was still our president. I had a 3.7 weighted GPA and a killer Ron Weasley cosplay. I pretended that movie Boyhood. It was really good. And also, Emerson College was named the #1 LGBTQ friendly college in the nation by the Princeton Review. I know, right? All these rainbow flags aren't just for aesthetic purposes. You might have already known that from reading it in Emerson's Picture Yourself at Emerson Day brochure. It's a commonly known fact around these parts because Emerson is still orgasming at the idea that they were named #1 in anything besides journalism and cultural complacency. Yeah, I went there. Nowadays, though, we dropped to #7 on the list. The rating that the Princeton Review gives us is based on how strongly students agree or disagree with the statement that students treat all persons equally, regardless of their sexual orientation and gender identity/expression, which is sort of like deciding if a school is the #1 most not racist school by having the students take a survey on the street asking, "Do you think you're a racist?" Emerson is touted as a magical playland filled with trampolines inflated by like hot air of musical theater majors where the gays can bounce freely from Tremont to Boylston. But who are the gays that are so comfortable here? The poster children for the LGBTQ community all look like sim-generated boy band members. But what if your identity isn't that simple? What if you're more like a regular boy band member or just not a cis white gay dude? Obviously, Emerson's treatment of the LGBTs and Qs is more than a little flawed. But where do we start? So, okay, you're a little freshie, walking into college all fresh-faced and starry-eyed. An LGBTQ campus! Wow, now I can finally hang up my posters of gay icons, share, and engage all my peers in RuPaul's Drag Race discourse. But stop right there. It's not always that simple. Some of us have mixed feelings on share. And then what if you're transgender and your roommate from Nebraska says, "Hey there, I've never met a they them before, but I did just like Laverne Cox's Instagram pic." I get it. Just kidding. If you're out as a trans freshman, you won't get a roommate. Housing mandates that first-year students can only room with people who have the same legal gender marker. That means no gender-neutral housing for freshmen, and as a small bean, you're required to live on campus, so you can't just like open a queer boarding house in Alston. Instead, trans students are offered their own singles, which is better than nothing, but it's still pretty isolating for new students. Of course, as someone who spent her whole freshman year alone in her suite, writing self-insert Harry Potter fan fiction for LiveJournal, it would be a dream come true. I got so many kudos. So anyway, okay. You don't have a roommate to follow around at those weird orientation ice cream socials. How else are you supposed to make friends? Oh, yeah, Eagle. But Kira, you might say, what actually is Eagle? Why should I care? Emerson has been gay as fuck for a while, specifically since 1991 when Eagle was born. Eagle is Emerson's alliance for gay, lesbians, and everyone, which the good folks at Eagle acknowledge is a pretty bad name. It was the 90s after all, and apparently they can't think of anything better to rename it other than gonads or gays, others, non-binary, asexuals, and dank super individuals. Suggestions are welcome. Eagle was created to promote visibility and acceptance of queer culture throughout the campus and community, open to any student who is interested in aiding others with the personal acceptance of queerness and sponsoring social, academic, and awareness functions for the community on issues relevant to the queer culture. Speaking of basic needs, in September 2016, Emerson finally implemented both single and multi-stall gender-inclusive bathrooms across campus. Now trans folks don't have to run back to their dorms or force themselves to be in an uncomfortable and invalidating situation in order to pee. Yay! You know, like many other motions on Emerson College, this one was started by students, specifically e-board members of Eagle. Last spring, they drafted a detailed proposal on why accessible bathrooms need to be a thing and presented it to Sylvia Spears, Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion. Aided by the power of bureaucracy and a bomb Facebook campaign, Eagle and the Diversity and Inclusion made the first step in turning every bathroom on campus into a genderless void to pee in, settling for just 2 multi-stall gender-inclusive bathrooms per building and stickers on every gendered door, assuring trans people that they probably won't be attacked for going into the urination room that most fits their identity. Accessibility! Bam! If you're non-binary, I guess you can just slam through the wall between the gendered bathroom platform 9 3/4 style. Aside from the banging gender-neutral bathrooms, what else has Emerson done to be a better ally? Well, firstly, they changed their Facebook profile picture to include a rainbow flag filter. That's a pretty big deal. Kudos to Emerson. They're really doing their parts. President Pelton once whispered to me, "I wish I was gay," and then wore a shirt that said ally on the inside, which again is like pretty cool of him and Emerson. Another big thing Emerson does to extend an arm as an institutional ally is by allowing students to change their gender identity on Emerson's academic records. So even if you applied, got accepted, and started your time at Emerson identifying as one gender, and say by your junior year you start identifying as non-binary, you can change your records relatively easily by popping over to the registrar. I say relatively easy because Emerson requires you to submit legal documents, like a court order confirming a student's change in gender or a revised driver's license reflecting the student's gender. This can either be a super easy step, like the first level in Super Mario World 3, or so fucking difficult, like the underwater level from Super Mario World 3. Fuck you, you ugly monstrous squid. You make it so much harder to swim. I hate you. Speaking of small yet important things Emerson is consistently doing, Emerson includes guidelines for using gender-inclusive language in the Emerson Editorial Style Guide, which, although it does sound like a pamphlet that could include subsections titled, like, Picking the Right Overalls to Go with Your Choker, and How to Cut Lopsided Turf Banks, and How to Make Period Art 101. The Emerson Editorial Style Guide is actually like an Emerson-specific dictionary, or like a how-to write about Emerson book for dummies. In addition to including cool tidbits of advice like respect a person's chosen personal pronouns, the Editorial Style Guide also provides links to the GLAAD Media Reference Guide and the National Lesbian and Gay Journalists Association Style Book. In addition to small-scale change, as of fall 2016, the Berkeley Beacon now asks all interviewees for their pronouns. Ooh, Emerson reminding people to use and respect pronouns? That's hot. So that's it. We're done, right? Emerson explicitly wrote down that everyone has to be nice to the queers, and several policies have been placed to support students' gender identities. There's a reason why we're number 7 on that list. We're doing a lot better at this than most other schools in the country. But let's keep in mind, the bar for that is low. It's like chilling somewhere in like the sub-basement of your libertarian grandpa's politics. Plus, these guidelines Emerson has laid out don't always get enacted. When was the last time your professor asked a class to say their pronouns when they introduce themselves? That hasn't happened to me since my overeager research writing professor, who was like 15 and just desperately wanted our approval. Most of our professors are clueless about gender as I am. About their subject. Remember last episode where we said diversity training isn't mandatory for faculty? Yeah, odds are artist-in-resident Quant Tartoodle uses 2 skip days for the faculty lessons on number 1, racism, and number 2, transphobia. Even though students can apply to change their preferred pronoun on their ID, Emerson email, and Canvas, their legal name will still be the one listed on the roster, which many professors use for attendance or general reference. So even though you've gone through the headache of getting your queer name changed ducks all in a row, all of those ducks could get vaporized as soon as your professor calls you the wrong name or neglects to ask anyone's pronouns. Okay, that was pretty heavy. Sorry. What's something fun? I know. Rhymes! We are all familiar with the phrase gay by May, that annoyingly true phrase that straight people love to throw around. We wanted an excuse to say gay by May as much as possible, so enjoy this interview with local expert and Emerson freshman, Chad. Here with us to talk about Emerson's LGBTQ+ community is Chad, our expert on Emerson's unofficial gay by May policy. Welcome to the show, Chad.
Glad to be here, Kira.
So why don't you tell us about your experience with Emerson's gay by May policy?
Well, truth be told, Kira, I'm feeling a bit nervous.
Yeah, I can tell. Why's that?
Well, I've been here already for 4 semesters, and May has not once but twice passed, and since May has twice passed, it just feels like all my friends are gay, and well, I feel like a late bloomer.
You're a late bloomer for what? A late bloomer for what?
Well, I've been gathering up the courage to say this, and I think it's finally time I say it out loud. I'm not gay.
I'm so sorry. I don't quite follow.
May has twice passed, and I'm still straight.
That's not how it works, right?
But Kira, everywhere I look, everywhere I go, all my friends are gay. I don't fit in as a straight boy. I feel bad about expressing my straight culture, like my love of lacrosse and wearing khaki shorts with Adidas slides. It just keeps coming, and my gay keeps passing. My gay is late again.
It's late, like a period or something?
I don't really know how periods work, but yeah, I guess.
Of course you don't. Listen, Chad, not everyone at Emerson is gay by May. That's just something people say here.
But how can you be so sure? Emerson is known as the gay haven. We were voted most LGBTQ friendly in the Princeton Review 2 years ago. I'm just afraid that as a straight white male, that if I'm not able to participate or fit in with my queer peers around the gay by May season, I'll have to drop out.
None of what you said made any sense. Like, has anyone ever explained how sexuality works? I feel like that's just the root of the misunderstanding here.
What is there to misunderstand, Kara? You come to Emerson, you turn gay by May. It's that simple, and yet I haven't turned yet. It's almost as if there's something wrong with me. Kara, give it to me straight. Am I dying?
Whoa, okay, chat, listen closely. You are not dying, and sexuality is not a choice. Which, by the way, I thought we all learned by watching Glee 5 years ago. But, I guess I was wrong. Sexuality is way more complicated than your, perception of just changing.
Oh. So, gay by May isn't real?
Mm-hmm.
I can't choose to be gay?
Yeah.
The gay won't blossom in me?
Yeah. You definitely cannot choose to be gay. And if you haven't, like, blossomed after trying very hard to be very gay by May, I don't think you're gay, Chad.
Oh, what am I going to focus all my energy on now? My whole time to turn gay by May really took up a lot of my free time.
Well, okay, for starters, you could educate yourself on LGBTQ plus issues, and maybe show your support of Emerson's LGBTQ plus community, like our organization, Eagle.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'll do? I'll take up a pack a day.
What?
Gay by May or pack a day? Get it? I'll take up smoking. Thanks, Kira.
Thanks, Chad. This Chad, everybody. Thanks, Chad. So we know that a lot of Emerson students turn out gay by May, but just how many are actually part of the LGBTQ community? Good question. You're so smart. Good job, audience. You'll be woke in no time, my dears. In 2014, Emerson began asking incoming students if they identified as gay, lesbian, and bisexual. And according to that data, 10 to 13.4% of incoming Emersonians identify as one of those sexualities each year. Yeah, baby! The queer agenda wins again! Of course, that all leaves out all the students who may come out during their Emerson career, or the gay by Mayors, if you will. It's fine if you won't. You probably shouldn't. It also ignores the fact that this all has to be done through the Common App. Beyond the Common Apt, being the literal root of all evil, designed by Satan himself to rob innocent-ish high schoolers of all individuality and self-confidence, it could also be viewed by an applicant's parents, teachers, and high school. So if you're in the closet at all, putting your sexuality on the Common App is not an option. But, of course, there's another big thing we're missing here. We've got our LGB, but we're missing our dear TQs. And much like a BLT without bacon, what's everyone's favorite lettuce, garlic, bacon, tomato, quinoa sandwich doing without the tomato and quinoa? Okay, yeah, I'm being told that is actually not a sandwich, and that LGBTQ folks are really tired of being compared to sandwiches, and that it really wasn't even that funny to begin with. Sorry. Moving on from my amazing analogies, we've got a bit of a problem here. There's barely any data on how many LGBTQ students are actually at Emerson, and the questions that do exist actively ignore the large sections of the community. But Emerson isn't all sparkly rainbows and sunshine, and not just because some amount of precipitation is required for a rainbow to blossom. Is that a metaphor for gay sex? I don't know. That's a question for another show that's not on EIB. But yes, there's been some not so great things happening at Emerson as well. In 2006, homophobic slurs were written on the dry erase board in P row as a reaction to Eagle suggesting mandatory diversity training. Wow. 2006 was not a great year. It also featured some real home runs. Let me think. Pluto was downgraded to a dwarf planet. Google bought YouTube. Facebook opening to the public and your great aunts. The premiere of Ice Age, The Meltdown, and Brokeback Mountain did not win an Oscar. Fuck you, 2006. But even though 2006 was 11 years ago, things certainly aren't perfect in 2017. The same prejudices that affect the outside world are still chilling out here in our liberal paradise. Just last semester, the brand spanking new gender-inclusive restroom signs were vandalized. Someone decided all the inclusivity around the toilet made it too hard to concentrate on taking a shit, and tore down some gender-inclusive signs as revenge. Or maybe it was just a ploy to remove all labels everywhere. Gender is fake, and so are signs. But seriously, if Emerson had no more work to be done for queer people, we wouldn't have bigots running around destroying one of the few concrete markers of gender inclusivity on campus. Of course, Emerson is also making some important progress. They recently launched the Brave Space Project in 2017, and it focuses on training people to be more active listeners. It rewards its attendees with a nifty sticker they can just hang on and show off how good a liberal they are. But for real, it's a good program with a lot of potential. Even beyond LGBTQ issues, active listening is important to learn. For instance, when I listen to Carl say that I'm a bad friend because I always eat his food and steal his clothes, I make sure to actively listen by running away from him, because otherwise I wouldn't learn just how right I am and just how wrong everyone else is, especially Carl. And it's good exercise. Okay. I'm being told that I'm being told that's not actually what active listening is. Well, frankly, I disagree with that definition, and I know I'm right because I'm already learning about active listening in CC 100. So I'm going to continue to talk anyway. I'm also being told that this gag of me hearing directions from offstage is getting old, and the writers need to be more creative. But anyway, Emerson is making important progress. Listening is the first step to changing attitudes and challenging stereotypes. Where it can be tricky is when Emerson doesn't consistently follow their policies. In an ideal world, every professor would follow the pronoun guidelines, and maybe Emerson would even be the number in case you didn't get it from that 15-minute long rant. We made a song to help you. Since I was voted the queer queen of Emerson College in 2015, I thought I'd show a prospective Emerson student all the joys of the LGBTQ community here. Take it away, me.
An afternoon in the big city with my favorite tour guide, Kira Compton.
Hey, Max.
No conservatives to bother me? How could it get any better than this?
Hey, actually, something just happened to me. I was at Einstein's earlier, right? And then this girl came up to me, and she was, like, smiling at me and talking to me and asked me if I knew something, right? Yeah, I think she was coming on to me. I didn't know I was queer.
Why are you telling me this? This is Emerson College, isn't it? This is the most LGBTQ plus school in the country.
We're like LGBTQ minus. Went down to number 7.
What? Should I have gone to Sarah Lawrence? Am I not welcome here?
No. It's so much as that. It's just something we need to be able to talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
If you are gay, that's so okay. I mean, 'cause hey, have you heard, my friends, it's May. If you were bi, they'd all just sigh.
Wait, what?
She's into guys, not girls. That's just a lie. You must comply.
Yikes, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, not everyone's that bad, but...
If you are trans, make different plans. We're all fake fans. If you understand, you'll see preferred pronouns. We wanna be down, but we're a bunch of clowns. Oops, forgot again. It's misgender town. But Kira, cis heteros say, I'm an ally, don't you see? There's a gay in my screenplay.
That sucks. Maybe I will go to Sarah Lawrence.
No, I guess what I mean to say...
More song? Okay.
Yes, we're not as cruel as some other schools, but shouldn't we keep pushing boundaries? We love the gays, but it's not the same for people further away from normal gay BTQIPKA.
Well, maybe when I come to Emerson, I can change that.
Yeah, we could.
If you were gay, I'd shout hooray. Non-binary, trans or just IDK, every type of gay. We hope you stay, 'cause someday we will be all that we claim to be. It's up to you and me and Lee to fight complacency. Give us more places to pee. Well, it's that time of the episode where we all kiss and hold hands. I'm just kidding, unless, you'd be into that. But we did just learn a lot about LGBTQ complacency. To quote, the only thing I know about improv, we here at the Punchline extend to Emerson a big, wet, juicy Yes, and. Yes, Emerson, you're doing a great job with this queer stuff. Much better than Uncle Dirtpatch and his 300 for-profit universities. And we'd love it if you did it even better. Are you really going to settle for 7th place? For reference, the 7th highest grossing movie of 2016 was Batman vs. Superman, a movie one critic described as a smothering, overpixelated Zeppelin crash of a movie. That critic was from NPR, so yeah, Emerson, you do not want to be in 7th. Don't settle for Batman vs. Superman. Now, as Melba Compton always says, get out of my living room with those dirty boots on your feet. Jesus Christ, Kira, I didn't raise you to make such silly mistakes. You know, you're not even my daughter, biologically or genetically. Also, you're in a dream. Wake up, sweetie. It's time for school. Just kidding. Face reality. And you know, that was just this morning. Really, isn't that what it's all about? Join us next semester, please. If you don't, our budget will only allow me to eat a bowl of cereal for the whole episode, and I really hate mini-wheats, damn it. Love you, see you all in the fall.